welcome back to Saturday Sports Special. Now, Jamaica's men's team qualified for the World Lacrosse Championships after defeating Puerto Rico 13-6 at the Pan American Championships at the Stadium East field on Friday night. Christopher Scott reports.
For Jamaica, the goal was always bigger than simply finishing on the podium. The ultimate objective was to secure automatic qualification for the 2027 World Lacrosse Championships. Standing in their way was world number 10, Puerto Rico. It was a close first quarter, but Jamaica edged it 3-1. The hosts then took control in the second, outscoring Puerto Rico 5-1 to establish an 8-2 advantage at the half. World number 8 ranked Jamaicans picked up where they left off after the break, dominating the third quarter 3-0. Puerto Rico responded in the final quarter, winning it 4-2, but Jamaica stayed composed and held on for a convincing 13-6 victory.
Feels amazing. I mean, that's part of what we came here to do. We knew we had to win 2 games. We got Colombia first game, hard game yesterday, but then we just fought hard. Like, we were ready for this game, and we've been looking forward to it ever since we lost to those guys in Colombia. It feels nice to get that make it right now, you know?
By ending second in Pool A, Jamaica will contest the bronze medal match on Sunday at 11 a.m. against world number 3 ranked Haudenosaunee, while it will be a battle of the top 2 teams in the gold medal encounter as world number 1 ranked USA face off against world number 2 ranked Canada at 2 p.m. Christopher Scott, TVJ Sports.
Now to cricket, as the Jamaica Kingsmen suffered their 4th loss of the 2026 Caribbean Premier League season, going down by 6 wickets to the St. Lucia Kings on Friday night. Garfield Jones has that story.
Hassan Khan was trapped in front for 12 as the Kingsmen stumbled to 54 for 5. All-rounder Kimo
Field. Head coach of the West Indies under-19 women's team, Ryan Austin, believes more work needs to be done with players once they return to their respective territories. 22 players are now involved in a training camp which will enter the second of 2 weeks in Antigua as they continue preparation for next year's ICC Women's Under-19 World Cup. According to Austin, the current group of players will need continuous work going into 2027.
Well, what I could say about this group is that they have some good skills, but obviously with development, with continued practice, with continued progress in terms of their skill developments, in terms of the structures that they're in terms of when they go back home, what they do, I think there's some level of importance and some level of acceptance that West Indies girls and West Indies women's cricket are in good hands. I think the skill levels that we have here, they're high at the point in time, but there's still room for improvement.
Austin says that there is a strategic framework developed to help the players get to international standard, but this will be implemented over the upcoming months leading up to the World Cup.
I would say it is more self-important right now, looking at themselves, where they are at, what they need to do, what they need to improve on, what they want to add to their game. So it's more about them and the development of them. Obviously, this camp is 2 weeks. Correct me if I'm wrong, there may be another camp, obviously, again in November, where that is more game-oriented. So we will get to, in terms of, playing oppositions and talking about oppositions at that point in time.
The 2027 ICC Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup will be the 3rd edition of the tournament. It is scheduled to take place in January 2027 and will be co-hosted by Bangladesh and Nepal. Head coach of Jamaica's Under-14 team at the CFU Challenge Series, Vassal Reynolds, says he's proud of what the team has accomplished in the tournament so far by getting to the Tier 1 final. The Jamaicans have won all 4 games played at the CFU Boys Under-14 Challenge Series so far and will meet Haiti in the final on Sunday. For coach Vassal Reynolds, getting to the final for the 2nd successive edition of the Challenge Series is an accomplishment worth noting.
I think we would have achieved our first objective, and that is to be in the finals. The boys continue to grow, as I've always been saying. There's some level of improvement every game they play, collectively and individually. And we just want to focus on continuing that improvement. Clearly, there are lots of room for improvement, and we have discussed it, we have practiced, and we hope that the boy will continue to improve and carry over that improvement into the game, the final game come tomorrow.
Haiti secured their place in the Tier 1 final with a commanding 6-1 victory over the Dominican Republic. The 6 goals scored by the Haitians in their semi-final took their total in the tournament to 15, the most by any team in Tier 1. And despite not conceding a goal in the tournament so far, Reynolds is well aware that his team will be tested come Sunday.
It will be difficult, I can tell you that. It's a very good Asian team, technically and physically. And the results of the Asian team tells the story that it's going to be difficult for us. But we are always very confident of our abilities, and I'm hoping that the boys will deliver their best effort come tomorrow, and hopefully the result will be in our favor.
One area that will be under the microscope for the Jamaicans is the attack. After beating St. Kitts and Nevis 4-0 in their opening match, the Jamaicans only managed a combined 4 more goals in their next 3 games.
Clearly, one of our concerns is in the final phase of our play. We have been getting a number of goal-scoring opportunities, and some of them would have made a couple of the games a little bit more difficult than they actually was. But we're very satisfied with the growth and development of the youngsters over the short period of time that would have had them.
The Tier 1 final is set to kick off at 10:30 a.m. Jamaica time on Sunday. Now, sports is often seen as a driving force for peace in any community. And members of communities in Old Harbour are using it to bring everyone together, and it's reaping rewards. Here's Denise Walters.
Long before Stephen Graham became council of the Old Harbour Central Division, he's been an organizer, using sports to unite communities in and around Old Harbour and its environs. He's now embarking on his own community football league, and the mission remains the same, with the teams from the Church Pen Division and Cockpit in Clarendon also participating in the league.
Before I'm a councillor, I used to put on community league right over here at this spot. We put on road race, we put on cricket, we put on corner league, but now I'm the councillor for this era. So I'll start this competition.
It's a community building effort, helping the community each day, bringing the youths, the younger and older generation, as stated before, building the bond, the bridge, the gap, because persons in the community, they basically don't know everybody in the community. So this is an effort to just basically bringing everybody together.
Now, despite other leagues running concurrently, they're not seen as competitors.
We are always supporting each other. So they support us, we support them. So it's a good look. As you can see right now, the community will glad for it, and they turn out a lot. It couldn't be better. We have a lot of competition going on. We have out of Church Pen, we have Russell Corner League, we have Kirkwall Corner League going on, and today we have a turnout. This is the first of my competition, and we have a good turnout. I feel good.
Meanwhile, in the opening round, Gangster Street came away 3-1 winners against School Lane in the first game of a doubleheader to kickstart the competition.
It's very easy, man. Very talented young man, so just come out and say we have fun, simple. Just play football and get in the back and go. We get 2 early goals, so we say then I eat that.
We out there, we fought, we play a good game. The pitch is not so good, but we make the first mistake and we can see the first 2 goals from early.
In the late kickoff, Black Lion FC clipped Highway United by 2-1.
The plan, our first match, so we just say we're going to win the match and get the 3 points and feel nice. So I'm more confident of going in the second match.
We had the match in our advantage, but unfortunately, early on mistake, that's what has cost us. We tried our best, but
12 teams are taking part in the competition. Denise Walters for TVJ Sports.
Further afield, reggae boy Damari Gray came off the bench to help Birmingham City earn a point in their 2-2 draw with Bristol City in the English Championship on Saturday. Bristol City were on the verge of victory as they led 2-1 when Gray struck 5 minutes into time added on to make it 2-2. Birmingham are winless after 2 games as both teams ended in a draw, while both their games ended in a draw, while Bristol were earning their first point. And Tyrese Campbell was also on the score sheet as he helped Charlton Athletic to a 2-1 win over West Ham at the London Stadium. Charlton are second with maximum 6 points, while West Ham are 17th with a point.